Hello, welcome, welcome everyone. I'm happy to play a little Dungeons and Dragons. I think we're going to play a little Dungeons and Dragons. It's going to be a lot of fun. My name is Adam Johns. I am one of the co-founders and executive directors of Game to Grow, and I'm going to go through. We're going to have all of our players at the table introduce themselves and talk a little about what they're up to and also who their characters are in our game that I'm calling the Feast of the Ages, or Feast of Ages, whatever it's called. Why don't we start with Megan? Why don't you start us off?
Hello, I'm Dr. Megan. I'm a psychologist in private practice out in Charlotte, North Carolina. I am a therapeutic dungeon master. I run games for women and girls, teaching empowerment through play. I'm also the co-founder of Geeks Like Us, a community-based entertainment company where I am the dungeon master for our live play D&D show called Clinical Role with a bunch of therapeutic dungeon masters, including a couple of Adams from Game to Grow as players. So I'm finally getting to play with them as a player, which I'm super excited about. We're actually going to be playing that tomorrow night, so that'll be fun.
This is a little bit of opportunity for revenge for you. Megan, tell us about your character.
So tonight I'm going to be playing Yazin. She is a cleric, a Samar. She is recently out of the military. She joined up so that she could see the world and to help pay off some of her debts that she incurred while getting her training as a cleric. But she very quickly learned that where the army took her was places of the world she just didn't really want to go. She didn't want to see. So she's gotten out now and she's off to find her own adventures, to maybe see the parts of the world she wanted to see, and to set her own hours and her own rules. So we'll see where life takes her.
Awesome. And Scott, why don't you introduce yourself?
I will do. My name is Scott Kurtz. I'm a cartoonist. Currently, I'm a cartoon. Thought it would be fun. I met the two Adams because they would set up at our booth at different shows back when you were allowed to go places and gather in numbers. There were these things called conventions, and people would get together and celebrate in person, and it was wonderful. We just fell in love with everything they're doing, and we produced a hoodie, a deconstructed dice hoodie that... are you wearing it? Of course you are. It's
Mine's
so nice.
over there. I was wearing mine earlier today.
That we sold the support Game to Grow, and they invited me to play today. So I'm people might know me. I played Binwin Bronzebottom for 10 years in the PAX Acquisitions Incorporated game. And I also do a comic called PvP, which has been going on for like 22, 23 years now. And then I do another comic about D&D called Table Titans. And tonight I'll be playing Strombo the Magnificent, who you can see here. Strombo. I always wanted to play a monk that was a strongman from a circus. I always thought it would be fun to take a different approach to a monk, where it's all unarmed combat, and of course there's still some martial arts and stuff. I probably learned it from someone at the circus, but his monk weapon is a barbell. I was going to make it the circus hammer, but Adam John said it should be a barbell, and he's right. It absolutely should be a barbell.
Does it have a value written on the side?
Yeah, probably. I don't know what units of measurements there are in D&D times. We'll just go ahead and say LBS. I don't know. Yeah. So he carries around a strongman barbell, and so I'll be playing this character tonight, Strombo the strongman monk. I'm excited to be here.
I love it. Adam, give us an introduction.
My name is Adam Davis. I'm the other Adam, the other founder, and the other executive director of Game to Grow. We're doing some really exciting stuff. You can learn all about that at gametogrow.org. We're here excited to support Wounded Warrior Project, so make sure you go to Wounded Warrior Project, make your appropriate donations during Warrior Week. The character I am playing right now is Harvey Slappersnaps. Harvey Slappersnaps spends time at the circus, mostly while Strombo is doing the amazing strongman things. Harvey's sneaking around the background and stealing stuff from people. And then when he's caught, he screams and rolls around on the floor.
Is that the routine? Is that your job at the at the circus?
A little bit of column A, a little bit of column B. We have a little profit sharing.
Yeah.
This is also the voice I used once for a industrial film for the city of Kent, Washington.
What was it that you said in that film?
I was informing people about making sure not to open email attachments from people they didn't know.
That was the voice you used?
Yeah, let's get
Wow.
cyber secure.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I've seen that video.
I really want to. It's part of my dream someday to actually see this video that Adam did this voice for. I will be your game master tonight. We also have along with us Chris Solo, who is joining in. Why don't you say hi, Chris?
Hi, Chris.
Perfect. Chris is running all of our tech. He's in chat. He's ready to go with some minis and some environments with us, which I tremendously appreciate. And he may jump in and correct me or poke fun at me, which I'm totally fine with. With that, we're gonna jump in and we're gonna play a little bit of Dungeons and Dragons. Everybody ready?
Yes.
All of you have been invited to become part of the guests of honor for the Feast of Ages. Now, the Feast of Ages, all of you are aware, is a holiday that only happens every 10 years. Ooh. And the Feast of Ages is an amazing holiday where everybody comes together and they have a tremendous feast. Now, you may be thinking, this might be similar to another holiday that also exists in the real world here. But I can assure you, this blows that holiday out of the water. The feast that's going on here is massive. We're talking huge, gigantic piles of mashed potatoes. We're talking cranberry sauce that you could hop in like a car and drive away. I mean, this is a gigantic feast. And one of the things that makes the Feast of Ages so incredibly special is that it all happens outside. They actually set up basically big heat lamps to keep everybody warm. It happens during a cold time of year, but all the tables are outside, and everybody comes outside and leaves their homes to sit together at huge tables that span across the streets, so that everybody can sit and eat together. And the center of the Feast of Ages is actually happening in this town that all of you are in. Now, in the email that I sent you, I named the town, but actually we're going to name the town together because I really believe in having a little bit more collaboration. We're going to have some collaboration with all of you players here at the table. So, Adam, what is the first letter of the name of this town?
R.
Awesome. Scott, what's the second letter?
The second letter?
Yeah. So far
A.
we have R. A. Megan, what's the third letter?
Z.
That's pretty good. I'm going to put an I. Adam, will you give me one more letter?
M.
Razum. The town of Razum. The town of Razum is a reasonably small town, but it's really well known for being the center of the Feast of Ages. And they gather a lot of food from a lot of different places, and there's a lot of people who travel from outside of the town here to the center of Razum. And the mayor of Razum is a sort of a tall, stout older man, but he is just a big proponent of bringing people together and the joys of the Feast of Ages, and he is so happy to welcome all of you as guests of honor. Now, the Feast of Ages always has a series of guests of honor that are adventurers. Oh. In years past, it used to be really high-end adventurers, the most famous adventurers of the land. But the Feast of Ages is not garnered that kind of publicity these days, and so the level of adventures that they can get has gone down a little bit. It's still a huge honor to be a part of it, but you're not necessarily the highest of high-tier adventurers to be invited. You're sort of what they could get. But you are more famous than lots of other adventurers for some of the things that you have done to save the world. And we're going to say, for the sake of our game today, that at least for some time, all of you have known each other. You might not have been adventuring together, but this is a moment where you're all coming together and you're like, oh yeah, I've worked along with them, or I did something with them. So I'm going to have each of you make up a story about how one of the other adventurers saved your life. So why don't we start with Adam? because I know I can put you on the spot and make you answer pretty much anything. Adam, what is a time that Megan's character Yazin saved Harvey's life?
So this was at the circus where I was had just bags of stuff that I had pilfered from people, and one of the things I grabbed was actually it was a dagger that had one of those sort of trick handles in it. You know, if you grab the handle and you're not the special person who wields it, it's like Blade's sword from the movie Blade.
It explodes.
And so I just grabbed it. I was just like on a stealing spree, grabbing all this stuff, little kobold running around in the crowd, and I grabbed this dagger, and then it like the blade popped out, and then it also so I cut my hand like very, very badly, but it was also a poisoned dagger, and I alerted the fact that I just like fell on the ground and my bags of baubles just rolled around everywhere. So then there was the crowd coming after me because everyone was like, "Oh, that's my stuff! There's my jewelry and my wallet and my child's toy. I was just stealing all this stuff." And then luckily Yazin was there to help me as the crowd was like ready to rally in and sort of come in, and who knows what they were going to do. Mob justice and everything.
Perfect. Yazin, how did you kind of pick that up and save Harvey from that situation?
I had just gotten this was probably 3 or 4 months post-military, is taking in the circus, taking in the show just to lighten the mood a little bit and sitting back. And I did happen to see this little kobold making his way across the crowd. Couldn't always catch what he was doing, but a few times I did. And just seeing this stuff, he's actually reminded me a lot of somebody I had been down in the caves with, who had gotten a couple of really nasty spider bites trying to go and grab some treasure. And unfortunately, they survived, but their injuries were so extensive they had to be taken out of the military, which was sad because that's what they wanted their career to be. And I just remembered how they, doing something they love cost them so much. And I just saw this kid and I was like, not today. Nope. So went in, did a quick little healing spell. Also, just made everybody around me feel nice and calm and recognize that look at his hand, look at how much pain he's in. He's paying the price for what he's done. You learned your lesson, right, Harvey? You learned you're not going to do this again, right?
Yes.
It's very
See, everybody, he's good. All right. And then I kind of quickly got us out of Dodge.
Nice. And Yazin, what is a time when you were in a sticky situation and Strombo was set up to save your life?
Ooh, I'll say after that, I decided to travel with the circus for a few weeks. Just why not? I was used to traveling with people and just being around people. There was something comforting to that. There was a lot less stress, and the food was actually a lot better, a lot greasier, but a lot better. So that was a really big bonus. But it was, speaking of the food, that there was some sort of special stew that was well known within the circus. But it's also something you definitely need to acquire the iron stomach for.
Yes.
And I wanted to show that I belonged, and I thought I could kind of handle anything. So I got one of the orcs had their own special orc-sized bowl, and so I grabbed that and ate an orc-sized bowl of this stew. I think it had these phantom peppers in it or something. It wasn't a good night. If it hadn't been for Strongbow, he knew what other things I needed to eat to counteract all the acid I had just eaten, and he really took me under his wing that night.
Yes, Strombo's mother has herbs that help with this. Peppermint is a big one. Never eat with the orcs.
The ultimate lesson of the circus.
Oh yes.
The orcs like the spicy food.
Oh, tell me about it. But Strombo can handle.
Strombo is your stomach as strong as the rest of you?
Yes. Not as strong as dwarf stomach, but close.
As close as you can get without being a dwarf, without being so short.
I believe there is dwarf in my family somewhere.
You married in. Strombo, how about for you? What is a time where Harvey got you out of a sticky situation and saved your life?
Yes, well, Harvey and I are good friends. We live at circus many years. We play pranks on each other from time to time. One day, Harvey played prank on Strombo. Now, some say he tried to steal from Strombo. I know he just played prank. And he cut Strombo's belt. Strombo's pants fell. And this is not the act I wish to perform. So Strombo drops to pick up his pants at exactly the same time as one of the wires that hold up the big top snaps. And if I had not been bent over, it could have taken my head off at its neck. This is why I thank Harvey, and I praise his mischievous ways. Aha! Good friend Harvey. Saved Strombo's life. And give good show.
Yeah, good tips that night.
Yes.
Perfect. All of you are headed into the town of Razum to enjoy your Feast of the Ages. Now, one of the key components of the Feast of the Ages is all the townspeople bring in their own dishes. But the mayor had messaged you ahead of time to make sure that the town would have one of your dishes that you usually have during your at-home celebration of the Feast of the Ages, because they really wanted to help make sure that you would feel welcome with the feast. So we'll go in the opposite order. Scott, what is Strombo? What is one of your traditional dishes that you might have had during Feast of the Ages when you were growing up?
Well, Strombo's mom always accompanies turkey with owlberry sauce.
Owlberry sauce?
Yes. It is berries eaten by owlbear and then left behind by owlbear. Gives them very nice flavor. This goes in the sauce.
Perfect. The mayor assures you, though
You've
it's
never had? You've never had?
I've never had owlberry sauce.
Oh, I fix for you. Taking it too far, Scott.
No, it's perfect. The mayor assures you that although it is expensive, they will have owlberry sauce for you at the feast.
Wonderful.
He suspects that some other people may really enjoy the owlberry sauce.
Well, of good taste, yes.
Yeah.
Hard to find.
Yazin, how about for you? What's a traditional Feast of the Ages dish?
So for Yazin, there is something that she has always heard tell of, but has never had herself, and has been dying to try. And this is the famous cheese bath. It is where you fill a hot tub full of cheese, and you can get in it and bring bread with you and eat the cheese while you bathe in the cheese. So that is what she has requested, so she can finally experience a cheese bath.
The mayor of Razum tells you it wouldn't be the Feast of Ages without a cheese bath. They will of course have one, and they'll make sure you're seated nearby to it so you can get in there before a bunch of other people get in. Which it's not as good as the night goes on. The cheese bath doesn't get better. It just sort of gets worse. So you want to be early on the cheese bath.
The flavor changes through the night.
Yeah,
it does. It's a very robust brochet.
It's part of the experience. A cheese bath, really.
I am taking very detailed notes.
Yeah.
Yes. You know, they put something special in the cheese bath, and if it turns blue, don't use the cheese.
It's just blue cheese bath.
This is what I heard. Rumor. It's urban legend.
Harvey, how about for you? What's a traditional Feast of Ages dish?
My favorite Feast of Ages dish is salted cabbage.
Very simple.
It's very simple.
Mm.
Is it cooked?
Oh, the salt sort of cures it over the course of the evening.
So
So
it's
it's
very, very
sort of-
slowly. It's just
sort
getting
of
lower.
sort of cooked. It's yes, it's good.
It's like young sauerkraut.
Yeah. It's not yet sauerkraut. It's more like salty cabbage.
Salty kraut.
Salty kraut.
Hmm.
As you come into the town, as you come into Razum, the mayor's actually there to greet you. And it's the early morning. You can see they're setting up all the tables. They're setting up all the placemats and everything like that. And they even have little cards for the sections that you're to be seated in. And the mayor comes out and says, like, "Oh, it's wonderful to meet all of you. Wonderful. You must be the adventurers coming in to be our guests of honor."
Does he have any? Is he
Yes.
wearing any jewelry or anything?
He is.
Baubles?
All of you can suspect he's probably wearing like all of his nicest stuff. The town is not that big, and he's probably not that wealthy, but he is wearing some like nice rings. He's got a nice necklace on. He's wearing a monocle. He is a well dressed. He's got a little bow tie. And he's kind of like eager to reach out and shake each of your hands as he reaches out and kind of takes them up. Yeah, go ahead and roll me a sleight of hand check.
Before Harvey goes up there, I'm actually going to put much like the Mandalorian with the wee baby Yoda. Gonna kind of grab your shoulder and just say, Harvey, make sure that you wait for some of the fun tonight after everyone's been drinking.
Oh, yes. I got a modified 20 on my roll.
Perfect.
Oh, Harvey.
It's like straight up that scene from the
Robin
Disney's
Hood?
Robin Hood, yeah,
Yeah.
where you kiss all of his rings, and you've got like jewels in all of your teeth, leaving just the casings behind.
Yeah.
He doesn't seem to notice at all. He's like, "Oh, proper gentleman, wonderful." Each of you shake hands with the mayor, and the mayor escorts you back, and he sits you at the table just as all the food's coming out, and people are coming out of their homes, and they are so excited. A lot of people don't eat all day. Some people don't eat for several days in order to really have empty stomachs so they can come in and really enjoy the Feast of Ages. And you have all celebrated Feast of Ages at home, at other places. Yazin, they probably had a Feast of Ages celebration while you were enlisted, but it's nothing like this.
Oh, no.
The bowls they bring out are person-sized bowls. When you see them wheel out the cheese hot tub, it is phenomenal, and you can smell it as its smell is wafting over into your direction. You can see they even bring out every year they get a massive not a bird, but they actually get a wyvern.
Ooh.
That they take down and they cook, and it's huge. It takes up an entire table by itself, a huge section of the table, and it looks and smells just incredible. You can't even imagine the oven that it must take to cook all this food, but they have done a phenomenal job, and they're bringing everything out. And the mayor stands up, and he gives a speech as everybody's coming in and settling down. And as he's giving this speech, he says, "Today we celebrate the Feast of Ages. We come together as a community, as a people, to really bring about once again the 10-year celebration." And as he's talking, there is something that sort of tickles your ears, a voice on the wind. And the voice seems to say, I put it in. This is what happens when I put my notes in 3 different places. Here we go. The voice seems to say, this feast may seem grand with pies, berries, and beef, but let's see how you like it when I give your food teeth. And as you all are sitting down, just ready to dive into the delicious food that you have in front of you, you watch
I'm
as
getting ready to dive into the cheese.
the pile of mashed potatoes right in front of the mayor is starting to bubble. almost seems to be shifting and moving in the pool, in the giant bowl that it's in. And the mayor doesn't seem to be noticing any of this. He's sort of continuing with his speech, thanking lots of people, thanking all of you. And then all of a sudden, a huge eruption happens from the mashed potatoes, grabbing the mayor's head and pulling him into the bowl of the mashed potatoes. And you watch as several different dishes of food all seem to come to life and start attacking people at the table. Everybody roll initiative.
Okay, got my low rolls out of the way early. This is good.
D20. 22 for me. Or right? Nope, sorry, just 20.
13 plus. Where's my character sheet?
Where's the
16.
Okay.
Strombo's
I didn't know you could. You're so talented, Strombo. I didn't know you could also sing. I got a 6.
6. What did you say again, Megan?
20.
20. Wow, that's great. And Megan, I actually gave poor instructions because I misread your character sheet, and so I thought you were playing an Aarakocra, not an Aasimar. So that's on me, but you're the Aarakocra on the board.
This is amazing. This looks so great.
That looks so cool.
It looks really, really cool.
I mean, my character does have wings that can pop out, so that's a cool thing.
It's very in character. So all of you are not really prepared. You have your weapons with you mostly because it's the show, it's the spectacle. You're the adventurers, but you're not really prepared for suddenly fighting a bunch of food that has appeared at the table. So the food's going to have a chance to go first.
Okay.
The mashed potatoes now with the mayor sort of halfway sticking out of it. Starts to look for more targets. It starts to crawl up out of the big metal dish that it's in, and starts to crawl towards you. And Strombo,
yes,
this is perfect. Actually, I think Harvey, you're going to be closest to this mashed potatoes, and he's going to lean down. The mashed potatoes are going to lean down and try to suck you in as well.
Oh, Harvey.
And
no.
It doesn't hit you, Harvey. You're able to dodge out of the way. But will you describe for me what your dodge looks like while you're sitting at this table?
I just spotted behind me in one of those barrels some of the salted cabbage, and I'm just gonna dive for it. Like totally unaware that there's this...
into a barrel of salted cabbage.
Yeah, there's like all this stuff happening. And it's like, oh, there's the cabbage.
Perfect.
Sort of the just the same amount of randomness as Strombo surviving the tent fall. Like,
yeah. You're hanging out in a delicious barrel of salted cabbage.
Yeah. When in Rome.
Eating a little while you're in there. The next thing that seems to come to life is one of the not the big bird at the table, but right next to the wyvern at the table. Right next to the wyvern, there is just a massive gravy boat. It's huge. It's got to be big enough to provide enough gravy for that big bird. And so the gravy boat actually starts to float up out of midair, almost like a little flying ship on its own. And as it turns towards you, it starts to shoot what looks to be tiny cannons off in the direction. It's turned into a gravy pirate ship.
Oh my gosh.
So
I do not like boats.
It is solidifying, Yazin, your distaste for boats. Although this one does seem to be much more delicious than most of the other boats you've been on.
Strombo, I told you, ocean's bad. See, boats bad.
Yes, I see.
It shoots some little gravy chunks at each of you, which are quite hot. And it's gonna hit. It's not gonna hit Harvey because you're in a barrel, Harvey. But it's totally gonna hit Strombo and Yazin. Strombo, you're gonna take 3 hot gravy damage.
Hot gravy damage.
And Yazin, you're also gonna take 3 hot gravy damage.
Point of clarification, Adam: is it brown gravy or white gravy?
It's brown gravy.
Thank God.
Yeah. I'm no monster. And you can also see that one of the huge pile. Well, actually, you can see that the cheese tub is coming to life as well.
No.
No.
And the cheese tub seems to be erupting. Did anybody ever see Ghostbusters 2?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Like the bathtub in Ghostbusters 2, where it's sort of reaching out. and it seems to be reaching toward you, Yazin, but it can't actually reach to you, so it digs its cheesy claws into the ground and starts dragging the tub across the ground towards you. Yazin, that's going to make it your turn.
Yazin feels slightly betrayed and hurt. What seems to be the thing that would cause the most damage to the other people around? Is it the gravy boat, or the mashed potatoes on the table, or the cheesy tub?
Right now, it seems like the mashed potatoes is probably the most threatening thing, especially because the mayor is currently sort of halfway inside of it.
Yeah.
But it is a little further away from you, and you might have to jump on the table or run past the cheesy tub in order to get to it.
I mean,
look at the cheese.
I really don't like boats, though. So,
hey, so sometimes it's your hatred for the enemy that really pushes you forward.
I'm going to turn around and do a level 1 guiding bolt right at that boat.
Awesome.
Oh, natural 20.
What?
Oh.
That's going to do really well. All right, I have a custom rule for that I like to do for critical hits in my games, which is that you get your maximum damage plus a roll on top of that instead of just double.
Oh, nice.
That way you can be sure your critical hits are always more damage than a regular hit would be.
Yeah, I do that too. That's really cool. What was the other enemy? We have the potatoes with the mayor, and then the cheese.
There's a big gravy boat pirate ship.
Good luck.
Okay. Thank you.
You know, flying gravy boat. You don't have that many?
You don't have that many?
Flying gravy boat? Come on now.
I will say that my goal was to try to put Chris on the spot as much as possible.
His 3D printer is in the corner going,
now it's just run it over time. Chris just trying to frantically paint.
All right, so
sorry.
My max damage is 46, so that's 24. And then I get to roll another d6 on top of that, you said?
You get to roll your normal damage on top of that. So you do the maximum amount plus your normal damage.
9, 13, 14. So another 14, so it's 20, 38.
All right. I think you have no problem taking out this gravy boat. Gravy pirate ship. What give me a description for your attack, obviously, but also the destruction and maybe sinking of this gravy pirate boat.
Clutching my holy symbol, I think of the sky, and so for her being an ASMR, there's a lot of being in touch with the element of air, and also thinking of like her holy light as being like lightning. She knows ships. She knows where their weak points are. And so she makes sure that this guiding bolt comes right down, striking through the middle, cracking the hull in half, and just gravy spilling everywhere.
It almost seems like you can hear tiny voices shouting out, "Abandoned ship!" As the ship sort of starts to slowly sink down into the, from the air and crash into the table, and then gravy spilling out everywhere across all the other foods.
For my bonus action, I want to nudge Strombo and be like, I got one.
Strombo is going to make it your turn.
Strombo is thinking, is any of the mayor sticking out of the mashed potatoes?
Yeah, basically his legs, everything below his waist. It's just his arms and his head and his torso sticking in. And so you can see the legs kicking.
So can I make an athletics check to try to pull him out? Use my action to pull him out of the potatoes?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah. Go ahead and roll me an athletics.
Nice.
Yeah.
So that's 17 plus 4, so 21.
Oh yeah. Okay. So this is a roll contest against the strength of mashed potatoes.
Oh boy.
But
mashed potatoes are pretty strong.
Mashed potatoes are pretty strong, and these are high on butter, so. Definitely makes a difference. No, I think you totally win that contest. So you're pulling on the mayor, and you're gonna yank him out of the mashed potatoes. And
I say some clever quip like, "No elbows on the table, Mr. Mayor."
He looks pretty stunned, as he is clearly not expecting to be swallowed by a bunch of mashed potatoes, and he's also covered now in just mashed potato, like head to toe.
Excellent.
And he goes, "Oh, what happened? What happened?"
I was trying to come up with a quip, but I couldn't think about it because I'm also looking at spending some key here as a monk. After I take an attack action on my turn, I can spend a key point to make 2 unarmed strikes as a bonus action. But I didn't attack. I pulled him out, so I can't do that. Never mind. Mr. Mayor, get behind me.
I'll let you do that. Yeah, if you want to.
Are you sure?
Yeah, absolutely.
Excellent.
I'm all for the fun over the rules. So.
All right.
Yeah.
So now I put a flurry of blows at these potatoes. These potatoes need a little more mashing.
Perfect. Give me a couple of attacks for your flurry of
So
blows.
the first one is a 17, and the second one is a 16.
Perfect. Those both hit.
All right. Well, the first one does 4 points of damage, and the second one does 6 points of damage.
Awesome. The mashed potatoes are not defeated yet, but you definitely lay in some extra mashing. Do you can turn this into a grapple if you want. Scott. The description is up to you. So what do you want this to look like?
I actually have. Yeah, I'll grapple it.
Cool. Give me a description. You yank the mayor out. He's bubbling. You say something, and then you dive back in. And
yeah, I mean, so my plan is to consume this enemy. It can't attack us if I've eaten it. So my goal now that I've really mashed it as smooth as I like mashed potatoes is to try to grapple it with my face and just start eating.
I am so happy right now.
So you tell me what roll that is, and I will make the appropriate roll.
The appropriate eating roll.
Is this an athletics? Is it a grapple? Is it just a strength?
I think I'm just gonna give it to you as part of the attack. I think this is just you're just mashing and eating.
Yes.
It's a punch and grab with a little bit of headbutting in there.
Oh yeah.
Well, there you go. Yeah, you're digging in.
Okay,
I will
very
say
good.
They're delicious. Really good mashed potatoes. Maybe evil, but very tasty.
Evil is delicious.
Whipped? How
no, whipped. Oh, definitely. Very, very whipped.
Why is it all the evil foods taste so good?
Evil, I eat evil for breakfast.
Dinner now too.
Why didn't I think of that? Oh, it's so good.
Harvey, that's gonna make it your turn while Strombo is punching and eating these mashed potatoes.
I pop out of the barrel of salted cabbage.
Actually, Harvey, since you've got this unique position, you notice something. All the other food is starting to rattle and is starting to come to life as well. And you can see other people are also reacting. They're running away. People are screaming and jumping up from their seats. And you can see at the far end of the table, there is a massive mound of cranberry sauce that is starting to jiggle a little bit more than you think it would based on the amount of movement happening on the table.
I'm just sorry, I just haven't eaten anything all day. This is like a gelatinous cranberry sauce, or like a cranberry sauce in a bowl. This is like one of those jiggly.
This is like from the can, the really good stuff.
Yeah, okay. A gelatinous cranberry salad right there. Okay. So I think I'm gonna if it looks like Strombo's taking care of this mashed potato monstrosity, I think I'm gonna see that this cranberry is happening, and then I'm gonna run along the table, and then Strombo is a great role model. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to dive into the cranberry sauce with my daggers, like straight forward like this, and then try to like get it from the inside.
I'm flashbacks to a shark battle.
Oh no!
Yeah.
Oh, you can get you're inside of it.
So I'm just
That's
gonna
amazing.
do that.
Awesome. Well, I'm still gonna have you make attacks. So go ahead and make your attack.
It's a 16.
And I think it's actually close enough to, because it's kind of right behind. It looks like Strombo on the map there. So I think it's close enough to Strombo for you to get your sneak attack if you.
I find the sensitive areas inside the little
get
pieces
the
of solid
really-
cranberry. Yeah. Ha! It's like inside there. That's
A 16 is going to hit, and since you are not resisting, you're going to dive right inside of it. So you are going to be swallowed completely.
excellent. So I got a 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 damage.
Awesome. You definitely get some solid stabbing on this gelatinous cube. You are now inside of the cranberry sauce. It is also delicious, and unlike a gelatinous cube, it's actually not dissolving you. You can't breathe, but it's just cranberry sauce. So
Yeah, cool.
it's just a whole lot of cranberry sauce.
But it tastes good.
It tastes good.
Is it spiced, or is it just like
No, it's like the
asking the important
store-bought
questions?
one.
Oh God, okay. So
You
it's
can
really
see that there's across
basic.
the other table. You can see that somebody made like a homemade
I was
one.
gonna say, who brought this?
Nobody's
This is
eating
the
it.
feast
Everybody's
of
eating the
ages.
store-bought
What
one.
are you doing? This is-
Yeah.
Okay.
Who brought the cranberry sauce?
They're not going to be invited next year. Let's just say that.
As this is all, Harvey, you dive in. You're chopping away at this. Are you? I'm assuming eating the cranberry sauce while you're inside.
Harvey.
Oh yes, sorry, I am sorry. I forgot my name, and I was. This is my second D&D game today, and I forgot.
I do this so much.
I forgot my name. I was waiting for you to call me Sturman. That was my character the other day. So we also fought big gelatinous things that consumed me. So I'm feeling a little bit like I'm having a little bit of.
That's a little bit of a flashback.
Yeah. Yes, I'm absolutely eating it, especially if it's if Strombo's doing that. He's like I said, he's a role model. So.
Came here to eat.
Yeah, that's true. Also, we haven't eaten in a few days, like you said, in order to have enough room.
I came for a meal.
The mayor stands up and he says, "Oh, this is terrible. This is just horrible. Everybody run away. Get inside. Get away from the food. I know exactly what's causing this." And he's going to run a little bit past past all of you and kind of dive into the house that's right next to you. And he motions for you to sort of get away from the food as well. Sure, Chris, that sounds perfect. He motions for you to get away from the food as well before it all starts coming to life. And all the rest of you can see the rest of the food is definitely coming to life too. And pretty soon you're going to be completely overwhelmed by all of the dishes that are around you. But in the meantime, the ones that are right here next to you have a chance to make some attacks. So the cheese tub comes out and is gonna deliver some blows because it looks like Strombo. It looks like you're right next to the cheese tub there. I don't know what happened to the mashed potatoes. Chris, did we defeat the mashed potatoes? They get removed.
If they were not defeated, I could put it back.
I think Strombo's still attacking the mashed potatoes. So Strombo, the mashed potatoes are attacking you back. As you're eating them, it's delivering some blows against your face. But they are squishy and soft and well blended. It only hits you once.
Thank God.
Or it actually hits you several times, but it's just not delivering the kind of damage that you'd expect now that you mashed it up a little bit
There's
more.
less of it now.
Yeah, there's less of
We've
it.
also
for sure.
established that Strombo has the iron stomach.
Oh yeah, you feel the mashed potatoes trying to shift around inside of you. It's not working very well. You're holding them in. It just does 1 damage to you, Strombo.
There you go.
And this cheese is going to try to grapple you, Yazin, to try to make an attack. Ooh, Yazin, what's your armor class? This might be close.
16.
Oh, it does not hit you. It reaches out, trying to grapple at you, Yazin. You're able to deflect and defend yourself off from the cheese grabbing you and pulling you in. And lastly, you can feel.
I will say there's a moment where Yazin is hesitating and thinking like, I could get a cheese hug instead of a cheese bath.
I mean, could still be really pleasant. Harvey, the cranberry sauce cube is going to try to attack you. It actually doesn't have a whole lot it can do other than to sort of jiggle around and shift you inside of it. So instead, it's going to spit you out. It's going to spit you out at a wall. Harvey, make a dexterity saving throw.
I don't mind if I do. That is a 24.
Wow.
That is really good. You feel it sort of suck in and then and you go flying out of the thing. And I think with a 24, you like flip in midair and plant your feet against the wall and then like land gracefully.
Stick the landing.
Yeah, and stick the landing, and then you go like this, and all the people in the crowds and the people stop and applaud you. Yazin, that's going to make it your turn, and it seems like the mayor is wanting you to get out of here.
Right. So I think Yazin is going to stand up on. Oh, I can. That's right. I can gesture the little table over here by the barrel of apples.
Oh yeah.
And just shout to all the people like, "You heard the mayor! Get inside! Get away!" And thinking like, I don't remember food fights being a part of the Feast of Ages. And she's going to go ahead and that hot cheese probably is not good for people, but the cranberry sauce has been damaged. I'm just going to pull out my holy symbol and chime it against my armor to cast Toll the Dead. And so it has to make the cranberry sauce has to make a wisdom saving throw.
Okay, well, cranberry sauce, the store-bought brand of cranberry sauce is not very wise. So it failed its saving throw. So give me some damage on that.
Yes, this is going to be a D12 since it's already taken damage.
The homemade one is pretty wise. So you attack the right target.
Yes. So it's 5 necrotic damage to it.
Nice. It's the cranberry sauce seems to sort of shudder. Oh, actually, give me a description. What does your spell look like?
Yeah, so when it starts to ring out, and so her holy symbol is this sort of resonant little lightning bolt, and it actually acts a bit as like a tuning fork. And so when she hits Toll the Dead, it's that resonant sound, and so the whole cube starts shaking with the sound, and like bits of the cranberry sauce just go flying off. All that bread on the side gets a nice smattering of cranberry sauce over it, almost like
It's
an
really
artistic.
beautifully.
It's beautifully done.
Bread.
There's just significantly less of the cranberry sauce when it's done.
The cranberry sauce sort of shudders and falls to the ground as the splatters hit all the walls, and the cranberry sauce is no more. Strombo. Oh, and then do you want to book it into the building?
I think she's going to
Yazin?
actually wait until all the other civilians are safe.
All right. So you're kind of motioning and blocking off for civilians to run away. Perfect. Strombo, what are you up to?
Okay, so the cranberry sauce is down.
Cranberry sauce is down.
I'm still grappling the potatoes with my face. Are they still a threat?
They are still they're diminished, but they're still a threat.
Okay. I'm going to take my monk weapon. I'm going to take my barbell, and I'm going to slam it in the middle of these mashed potatoes, spread them out, give it one good last death blow.
Nice.
One last good mashing.
really show them how to mash.
Right, here we go. Oh, that's a 12. That is not good.
The armor class on the mashed potatoes is pretty low, as it's a giant pile of mashed potatoes. So 12 does hit.
Exciting.
Yeah. It's not high on the dex.
Well, then I do 4 bludgeoning damage to this potato pile.
I based all the monster stats on how you feel after you've eaten too much of it.
Do you want to go to sleep?
Ooh, so we got to watch out for the desserts.
Yeah, there you go.
The desserts in the beverage cart.
That's really weird. That's really weird.
Oh god, not the
You
beverage
do-
cart.
You do
The
1d
coffee
nap
carafe is-
damage.
No, I'm thinking the coffee carafe and the teapot.
Yeah. What was the? Perfect.
What was the question?
What was the damage on that?
4.
All right. That's enough to finish off the mashed potatoes. You want to give me a description for? They just.
Oh yeah, I
and they-
lift my barbell, drop it right in what's left of the mashed potatoes, and they just splatter everywhere.
I imagine that Strombo would pose in some way.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I then hoist my barbells over my head, and I make a muscle. What I do is I do one of those things where I do the muscle, but I'm pointing to show the muscle.
You're like
Like-
pointing like the.
Yeah,
So,
everyone evacuate to there.
Perfect. Awesome. And Strombo, are you also going to wait until people are clear before you jump into the?
Yeah,
house?
because there's no more. All that's left is the gravy boat, correct?
The gravy boat's down too.
Okay.
There's still other food that looks like it's starting to come to life, but none of it has happened yet. So you've got a moment of sort of clarity to.
Well, if
to
there's no more
gather
food,
yourselves.
I will say check, please, and run into follow the mayor.
Is it like a check, please?
Check, please. I'm going to leave you a bad review on medieval Yelp.
It's just Yelp.
Yelp.
You just shout.
That's what I call it in my games is yop. It's,
Yop.
it's like barbaric yop. Yeah, it's same game Yelp. Yeah.
Awesome. With that, there's not too much yet left. Harvey, you're able to get away, and also so you can see all the rest of the food is sort of diminishing a little bit. You can see all the desserts, even the like large wyvern bird coming to life just a little bit. Things are about to get a whole lot more dangerous, but you've got a few moments, and you can see most of the townspeople are getting away and getting indoors, and doing all that. And the mayor is motioning to you from inside the house for you to come into the house before it gets even more dangerous. As all of you dive into the house, the mayor says, "I know exactly what this is. This is all the makings of Luda Fisk."
I don't know, Mayor. That sounds fishy to me.
He says, "Every year we invite Ludafisk to come to our every 10 years we invite Ludafisk to come to our celebration, and every year he turns it down and he never shows up. He used to show up with all sorts of terrible fish dishes, which
Yeah.
no one liked, but no matter, we invited him anyways. The spirit of the Feast of Ages would demand it. But he hasn't showed up for 40 or 50 years now, and I'm certain that this is his doing. Unhappy with our celebrations.
Is he a goromancer of some sort?
Not that I'm aware of. No one's seen him for ages. He lives off on the iceberg inside of the frozen lake, just a short distance away from the town. Not too far for it to be a bother during a 2-hour game.
Ugh.
Perfect. There
You-
is.
You
Are there-
adventurers! You must take care of Ludafisk and make sure that he comes and fixes this, or stop him in some way.
I was promised a meal. Strombo was promised a meal and has not received a meal. This is
So wait.
outrageous.
I will say.
Not only are we not getting a feast, I have to go on a boat.
Well, perhaps it is an iceberg in the middle of a lake. We call it the freezing lake.
It's a frozen lake. We could walk across it, maybe. Or is it
Oh,
not
if we could
frozen?
Walk, if we could walk there, I'm
The
fine. with that.
freezing lake.
Oh, it's freezing. It's in the process.
It's
Still happening. You see.
very cold.
Very
Harvey,
cold lake.
Just to make sure that we're following the right person here. He has a bit of a funny kind of voice.
Oh, yes, how did you know? Have you met him? You're not in cahoots with him.
I heard his voice.
I
Oh,
also
Jesus.
heard this voice.
And I did too.
Oh. Well, then that settles it. Clearly, we must have the right person.
I pull
Uh,
Harvey aside, and I say, Harvey, our friend Yazin does not like the water. We are going to have to pull what I call a B.A. Baracus on her. I'm gonna need a glass of milk and a sedative.
I get that reference.
How you doing?
I'm glad.
I'm not sure I understand. But there's milk. There you go. Sedative. Turkey.
There we go. I put a piece of turkey in the
Got all
milk
that tryptophan.
and give it to
I see
Yasmin.
what you're doing.
Yeah.
It's okay. We're
Okay.
not going on the ocean, so that's okay.
Okay. You sure you don't want to wake up on boat?
Absolutely positive.
Okay. Just let Strombo know.
I mean, if needed, I'll just fly across. if it's
Strombo
close
loves
enough.
it when plan comes together.
All right, so
You have your cigar
First
there,
off-
Strombo.
how are we going to
Strombo's
get out of
player
this
is
town?
almost 50 and remembers the 80s fondly.
The mayor says, well, you can take the back entrance. It doesn't look like there were any tables set up in that direction. There's probably a way you can sneak out of town. Encounter Ludafisk, get him to turn off this, and then we can probably still eat most of the food. It all still looks good. It's just walking around. And you can see out the window, all the food is up and about, and it seems to be sort of stomping about. Some of it's like shaking the tables and chairs. It doesn't seem very bright, but it's definitely looking for people. It's sort of stomping about in the middle of town looking for people.
Adam, I am most interested. What are the pies doing?
Oh, the
And
pies
what
are
is
the
the
most
coffee doing?
the pies are the most dangerous part. You can see each of the pies, which by the way are gigantic. They are pies suited for many people. Each one is larger than an 18-inch pizza. Larger than 18 inches. And
20 inches.
20-inch
20?
pizza.
Tell me when I get
A
there.
19-inch pizza. You can see each of the pies has actually picked up their own pie servers. The pie servers are floating right next to the pies as the pies have flipped themselves up on the side and seem to be sort of hucking pie servers at walls dangerously.
Chat, I require fan art.
As all of you start making your way out the back, the mayor, who's sort of eyeing the stuff out on the street and seems to be cringing, seems to be humming a tune to himself as he goes. Ba, 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 ba.
You're welcome.
Yes.
This will be on your head for days.
And all of you are able to sneak your way out of the town towards the freezing lake. On your way there, I would love everybody to roll me a perception check.
5.
Ooh, 8. My passive is 16.
Jeez, 6. My passive is 12. How can I roll lower than my passive?
I rolled a 2.
You're looking really hard.
I looked
the
so
wrong
hard
direction.
I missed what I would normally catch in my periph.
Yeah.
I think we're all hungry. We had
that's
like
the
literally we've been fasting for days before
Yeah.
coming to this feast.
And you had like a little bit of cranberry sauce and a little
Yeah, I
mashed potatoes
carbo
and-
loaded before this, and it's not doing.
It's not.
Yasin's
settling well.
disappointed because she's actually wearing her bathing suit under her armor and outer
Did
clothing.
you get a special cheese bathing suit just for
Yes,
cheese?
I have
Bath?
the
Yeah.
special cheese bathing suit on, and it's kind of like it's not quite comfortable. The armor, it's a little chafy. So.
No, cheese bathing suits they always make them that way. I don't know what the problem is with the.
Yeah.
Can never get them right. You were watching the cheese sort of like pull itself along. Continuously. I'll also say what all of you noticed as you were leaving, everything was reforming. All of the mashed potatoes were slowly gathering back together again, and the cranberry sauce. It looks like just defeating the food wasn't enough. Oh, and Strombo, you're feeling that the sort of mashed potatoes in your stomach are not settling super well.
Oh no!
Yeah, they haven't come back up yet, but
It's gonna be an interesting evening.
You can feel them trying to get out of there.
Is it a bit like lava stew?
Yeah.
Yeah. With those what was it called? You called it Spectre peppers or something.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
However, as you are all making your way to the edge of the freezing lake, I'll give this one to Yazin for your base perception, for your passive perception. None of you are paying particularly close attention, but what you do notice is on the way there's not much town. There's like a couple of trails that head off to Freezing Lake, but otherwise you're basically very clearly outside of the town at this point. But you are traveling through the forest, and you can see that there is a small, very run-down shack. And the shack doesn't really seem to have a lot going on. You can see that nobody's living there, but there's a mailbox on the shack, and the mailbox is overflowing with mail. There's mail that's like settled on the sides. That is clearly like the mailbox is so full nobody could deliver the mail, so they just started dumping it at the base of the mailbox. And you can see there's actually a lot of letters in there. Some of which are very old that have the same lettering, the special lettering that you got on your invitation to the Great Feast of Ages. Some of them probably 10, 20 years old.
Oh, I think I see the problem here.
Wait, this is on our side of the shore?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm going to point over to, it's like someone forgot to set up letter forwarding.
As you dig through some of the mail, you can see that there's an envelope with letter forwarding at the bottom of the mailbox, but it's not filled out correctly, and he didn't sign it at the bottom.
Who is it addressed to?
It is addressed to Ludafisk.
No, he's got to be in his bonnet because he hasn't been invited to the feast.
We should
we
bring these. Yes.
Yeah, let's bring these with us.
You gather up all of the things as well as some overdue bills that he clearly has, and one of them's for cooling. The bill is tremendous; it's super high, and you start making your way to the edge of the freezing lake. As all of you get to the edge of the freezing lake, you can see it is exactly as described. In the very center of the lake, there is a massive iceberg. It basically seems to be floating in the very center of the lake, and it's sticking out of the water, not too unlike the iceberg from Frozen 2. And you can see it's taking up a whole bunch of space in the middle of the lake, but the lake itself is not frozen over, but it does look very, very cold. And in fact, you can see that there are several what look to be ice sculptures of animals. You can see a squirrel and a deer that looks like they have touched into the water and then instantly frozen.
Oh no.
Oh dear. How far away is the iceberg from the shoreline?
It's probably about 50 feet.
Okay. How much does Strombo weigh?
This is a personal question. I don't know. I would say 300.
He's big. He's a strong guy, and I imagine he's pretty tall too.
He's also carrying the barbell.
Oh, yeah. That's true.
This is a barbell
without the barbell. Yeah.
Would a strength of 14 for my character? She's probably actually. I think I did put her height and weight, or at least nope, I didn't put her height. For ASMR's, she's just under 6 feet and pretty well built. Would she be able to carry Strongbow?
I'll let you make a check for it. And I generally assume this is not physically accurate, but I generally assume for any of my flying players that you can carry as much while you're flying as you could while you're walking on the ground. So if you can pick up Strongbow, then you can fly with Strongbow. If that's what you're thinking
yep,
about doing.
That's what I'm thinking here. All right.
So go ahead and make me a athletics check for this.
I'm gonna touch my little lightning pendant and say, "Grant me guidance," so that I have some guidance on myself. Because I realized I did not pull out a D4. Nope. I rolled a 1.
What does this look like as you're like wrapping your arms around Strongbow? Like
yeah, so basically I'm imagining it like my 6-year-old trying to pick me up.
Yeah.
Like the arms do go around, but it's just a lot of
As soon as she puts her arms around me and squeezes me, I toot. I think that's what threw her off.
All right.
Trumbo is sorry. These magical potatoes do not agree.
That's not gonna work. Oh, excuse me. I'm very happy I haven't eaten anything at this point.
50 feet, correct?
It is 50 feet, maybe just shy of 50 feet, actually.
So I could throw Harvey.
50 feet?
I can easily carry Harvey. He's a small kobold.
Okay. Well, is there not a boat? Is there anything near that I can use to? No.
You don't see a boat anywhere in the immediate vicinity. You could expand your search out a little bit further if you wanted to. But you don't see a boat immediately.
Maybe you two can get across, and there's something on the other side that might aid in me getting over there.
One thing I know about lutefisk: lies. It's a lutefisk reference for those of you that know how to make lutefisk. It's made with lye. I don't trust.
I did not know that. Well, that's great.
Now you know, all you lutefisk fans out there. I don't believe that these frozen ice sculpture things are actually like frozen animals that touch the water. So I want to experiment because that could easily be like a red herring.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
I want to look around.
Maybe
for
a
like,
cod.
Yeah.
Lutefisk is often made with cod.
Yeah.
Just another inside.
Yeah.
I think we should try it.
We're playing to a very small audience here, Adam.
Very narrow.
Everyone out there who loves soaking cod in lye for an unspecified amount of time until it sort of ferments. I'm looking around for like a branch or something like that to stick in the water and see if it has a reaction up the branch.
Okay, cool. I think you're in a forest. You have no problem finding like a branch and sticking it into the water. You are on the right track. It seems like you stick the branch in the water. The water's cold, but it does not instantly freeze the
It doesn't
branch. It doesn't. Yeah, it doesn't do anything like that.
Midas touch to this branch.
Oh.
I think we're fine.
It's still cold water.
Yeah.
I'm still planning on flying.
I'm not like the steel skin or anything, but
Do we have? Is it safe to assume we've got like a standard adventurer pack?
Yeah, absolutely.
Sorry, if you hear knocking, my
can-
cat is banging on my door. Yeah.
I do not appreciate this door being shut
Why
during
is
business
this-
hours. Trying to-
Pretty much.
I have the same. Here's the freaky thing. We lived in an apartment. Our first apartment we lived in when we moved here, our townhome. The door handles were not knobs; they were little levers that you push down.
Yeah.
And we would sleep with our door shut because the cat would come in and just walk across our heads instead of letting us sleep. So we're laying in bed one night, and all of a sudden the door handle goes, and you do that thing where you're terrified, but all you can do is lay in bed, frozen, staring at the door, and then the door handle slowly comes down. The door goes, and we're like, oh! And in walks the cat. We had figured out how to open the doors, and it scared us every single time. Every time.
I imagine you have like so much more appreciation in horror movies when you see people like freeze up
Oh
and
yeah.
do nothing.
Oh,
Yeah, there's nothing you can do but just sit there and go, oh!
what's gonna happen?
I'm trying to find my speed on here because I could actually.
Hey, here's
Do
my
it-
thought: is if we get a couple of logs or like larger sticks and just kind of bind them together because all you need to do is balance. Because I can fly and carry Harvey and just have a rope in my hand,
Oh,
and
right.
pull you across.
Like a skiing.
I can do
Yeah.
step of the wind
Sure.
and double my jump as well.
You're parasailing across this.
I can walk 40 feet speed. What is my
I-
jump speed?
I really like this parasail idea with like Strombo kind of running / skidding across the top of the.
I'm all for it. I'm all for it.
I like all of this. Okay, let's make some checks, I guess, and see how this goes.
right.
So, Yazin, you're carrying Harvey,
I'll carry Harvey. Yeah,
and you're pulling the
if
rope.
that's what we do.
Yes.
Do we want to do the rope? Okay. So yeah, we'll
Um,
get a couple of larger logs together, kind of lash them together with some rope, so
Right.
it's just buoyant enough. And it's only 50 feet. It's just gonna pull them straight across.
And Strombo, I'm assuming you're kind of helping out here and trying to like keep your
Yeah.
weight up.
Correct. Is this a
Uh,
dexterity check for me?
I think so. So I'm
Yes.
gonna make Harvey. You have to make a dexterity check as well because Yazin only has two hands and so needs to pull the rope instead of holding onto you. So you're holding on to Yazin, but Yazin's holding onto the rope. Yazin, go ahead and make me a strength check.
Just a check or a saving throw?
Oh, you can make it a
guide
saving throw if you're trained in
me.
it. That's fine with me.
Not that much better.
I got a 17.
11.
Strombo.
Well, when I was at the circus, the acrobats did teach me much, and I used my acrobatics and rolled an 11 as well.
Alrighty. I think an 11 is good enough that no one goes crashing into the water.
Okay.
So Harvey, you have no problem hanging on to Yazin as she's flying through the air. Yazin, you're pulling on this rope, but the problem actually comes in that the raft starts to fall apart. So as you're pulling on the rope, Strombo, you're holding onto the other end of the rope, and then you're sort of wakeboarding your way across this thing, and you're slowly losing logs off the sides of the raft until you're basically down to one log, and then you're sort of log rolling your way along as Yazin is pulling you, and both Strombo, you wind up kind of wet, but otherwise you make it fine onto the flat surface of the ice as you make your way into the onto the iceberg. Now the iceberg has sort of like a big ring of ice that is basically at water level, and then it juts out inside of that, sort of like Superman's Fortress of Solitude. And you can see that there is like jutted open kind of triangle doorway as the front of the area. And you can see up at the very top, very top of the whole thing, there is a balcony, and a figure steps out towards the balcony, and you can see it is a tiefling, and he's wearing a top hat, and he is wearing sort of very bright purple clothes, and he steps out at the balcony, and he says, well, let's see if I can do this. You've come to apologize for your cruel and vicious ways, but I'll tell you now that you'll need to be
Actually,
byway.
hey, we came to deliver your mail.
A ruse it might be, and I'm
gonna grab the mailbag and fly up to the balcony and just drop the mailbag at his feet.
Whoa.
My God, you can fly! This was quite unexpected. But I guess now that I think about it, it's not wholly. Oh man, rejected. My mail you have brought, it hasn't been delivered. What brings you this mail? This mail you have considered.
With her?
And he does everything, including all the pauses, everything, all the like stop and think moments. That's all in character.
If flying, still kind of hovering up in the air, I'll stay 30 feet away from him. Just, it's like, your mailbox was overflowing, and we saw the invitations there. And at the top, I put your forwarding address form. You didn't fill out subsection D right, and you forgot to sign.
My God, it is true. I just can't believe it. After all of this time, it's my mail that they leaved it.
What'd you say? I missed it.
The town celebrates with feasts that are big. I thought that they'd leave out the people who bring fish-filled figs. But you're right. They've invited me after all this time. And here I was thinking it was just me and my rhymes.
I think I figured out why he wasn't invited.
I don't think we should say anything. I think.
In that case, in the spirit of feasts of the ages, I shall bring all of my thing and my fish and my sages.
I think that'd be wonderful.
And you can see he goes back into his little ice palace, and he seems so happy. And he grabs just jars of pickled fishes, and he puts them into a big sack. And he comes down to the bottom of the ice palace. And he sees all of you, and he's got his most recent invitation in hand, and you can see he pulls out a wand, and he says, "Thanks to you in bringing these mails to me, I can finally bring my wand and set the town free."
Well, gather your food and gather your sauce. Do you know a safe way for us all to get back across?
Of
At
course.
this point, my wings will have gone.
I'm not sure you did what you did. You could have taken my seal named Squid. And then he claps twice, and a giant seal comes leaping up out of the water onto the ice and barks at you a couple of times. And the seal has a big saddle on the back. It's big enough for all of you to sit on. And he climbs up and he says, "We must go, and we must make haste, because I'm afraid that the food will go to paste."
I say, I love this creature, and I feel a fool, yo. But I give this transport my seal of approval.
I climb up, kind of hesitantly, of like, I don't water stuff, but okay, it's okay.
He claps twice, and the seal goes, "Oh, oh," and then jumps into the water, and keeps the saddle above water as it swims its way across the water and lets you off on the other side. All of you, along with Ludafisk, start making your way back to town, and as you start to crest sort of into town, Ludafisk actually pulls out a wand. And the wand looks to be like made up of like a really long old chicken bone. And he's holding it in his hand as you all come around into town, and you're sort of sneaking your way through. And it's unusual because you saw all the people, you can tell, are still wrapped up into their houses. They're still sort of sealed away, and they all seem to be very, very panicked. But all the food seems to be gone. You see little pieces of food that are still left behind, but you're seeing all these tables with dishes that are now left open, and there doesn't seem to be anything there. And you're sort of sneaking your way around the corner. And Ludafisk turns to you and he goes, "Don't worry. With this wand, I shall fix all of the things in here so we can get back to our dish." And then he turns the corner, and then you watch as a giant arm comes down and immediately picks Ludafisk up and then hurls him at one of the walls of one of the buildings. And you can see he comes crashing into the wall. And he seems a little stunned for it, but more importantly, his wand has completely snapped in half. And Ludafisk sort of looks at his wand, and he goes, "Well, that's not good. I wasn't planning that. And now that I'm here, I quite miss my hat." Which has fallen off of his head and is now off over onto the side. And you can see stomping out of the corner and turning and looking at you, very much like the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man, is a massive amalgamation of all of the food that was here for the Feast of Ages, now piled all together with the giant turkey bird wyvern at the very heart of the whole thing, holding it together like a massive monster. Everybody roll initiative once again.
Is it humanoid shaped?
It is sort of humanoid shaped.
With like the wyvern in the stomach, like
just Krang. The wyvern. The wyvern's just sort of the center. The chest area is all kind of the wyvern, and then it's like mashed potatoes on one arm, and then like all the cheese from the cheese bath on the other arm.
This is reminding me of Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs so much.
It has a little bit of Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs in the moment. It also is a little like Clayface from the Batman.
Like a Thanksgiving elemental right now.
It's a Thanksgiving elemental. Yeah, a Feast of Ages elemental.
I mean, that sounds
Ah.
right. Yeah.
What was
I
everybody's
got a
initiatives?
12.
12.
I got a 19.
Oh, excuse me. Oh my goodness. I need to learn how to handle my spit better. Right. That is a Strombo 15.
Awesome. And this massive creature sort of looms above you. Oh, and he rolled terribly. He's going to go at the bottom of the initiative, which means that it's going to be, I guess, Harvey's go.
Oh, awesome.
Harvey, this thing is huge. It's towering over most of the houses
gosh.
and buildings.
Yeah, I see that now. Does it have any particularly sensitive areas on it?
It seems to be made of mostly food.
But we all have a favorite piece of food.
You do have a favorite
There's
piece
like
of food.
that one thing, that we all, it's sort of the centerpiece of the meal, right? Like the turkey, everything else is aside, right?
You can tell one of its feet is actually the salted cabbage, which you suspect is probably going a little bit more towards
You leave my
sauerkraut
leave
side.
my salted cabbage out of this.
But it still has the barrel around the salted cabbage, so it's basically stomping around with one big barrel around its foot. That might be a good way to go, since that was one of the dishes that you really wanted.
I also know exactly how to attack salted cabbage in a barrel. So I know precisely where the precision point is.
This is your
there.
favorite enemy, is salted cabbage in a barrel.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna definitely attack that salted cabbage barrel, and I got a 12 to hit.
A 12 is not going to be good enough for this cabbage in the barrel. Rather, you hit it; it just doesn't do anything. So give me a description for your dive in and your attack, even though it wasn't.
So I sort of look over at Strombo and I give him like a thumbs up, and then I rush over there as if I am like really strong and powerful. And then I go over there and I plug my dagger into the side of the barrel, and then my hand slips over the edge of the dagger, and I kind of just punch the barrel and drop my sword or drop my dagger. And then I respond to that moment by looking back over at Strombo, back up at this hulking food monster, and then I'm gonna grovel, cower, and beg. Which is a kobold ability. Once per short rest.
This is a specific ability.
Yeah,
I thought you were just gonna grovel, cower, and beg.
This has to be my action. I'm sorry, I messed up. I'm gonna do that in my next turn.
I'm super interested. Tell me what grovel.
So
I'm gonna let you do it.
It's a kobold ability. Once per short rest, as an action, you can cower to distract foes. Until the end of your next turn, allies gain advantage on attacks against enemies within 10 feet of you that you can see.
All right. What does your cowering and begging look like?
So I drop the thing and then I go, no!
Perfect. It seems very effective. The big monster of ages turns around and it definitely seems interested in you because you made a whole lot of noise. Strombo, that's gonna make your turn.
It is time for me to bring the 5th course of this meal. I run up creature, and I'm going to strike it with my barbell. Here's the thing I don't quite understand about monks. How many key points do? Oh, I have 4 per short rest.
4.
Okay, and I've used 1.
And I guess we didn't do this, but retroactively, if you probably would have had an opportunity to take a short rest somewhere in the walking through the forest portion. So if you wanted to use some hit dice and get your short rest stuff back, I'm totally cool with that. So you can be back topped off to full for this battle.
Okay, well, I will take it. I will never turn down hit points and key points.
I feel
All right.
the same way.
Right, exactly. All right, bring that back up to 23. All right, so here we go. Great club, barbell, swing, and that's a miss. That's a big old 2.
You have an advantage though because of the.
Oh, you do have advantage.
Yeah.
Because
I
thank
was
the circus.
cowering and begging.
Very good, very good.
Probably not groveling.
Try this again.
not worrying. It's very
much better. 19.
A 19 is definitely gonna hit.
Much better.
Okay, so I'm gonna roll and do 9 damage with my great club, my barbell.
Awesome.
Then I'm gonna spend a key point and do a flurry of blows.
Nice. You have advantage on those attacks too.
Okay, so glad because I just rolled a 5. All right, so one of them's a 12,
That one's not gonna hit.
and on my next roll, 18.
I hate 18 does.
Okay,
And
another
then give
6 points of damage.
Perfect. And then give me a description for all of this. And the blows that don't hit, they could miss, but they could also hit but not be very effective. You're diving in. What does this all look like?
So I run up with my barbell and grabbing it by one of the bulbous ends, I swing the other one right at its legs, and I scream, "Sweep the leg, Johnny!" So I could just get one more 80s reference in.
And I get that reference.
Yes. The youngsters might too, because of Cobra Kai.
Yeah.
That one misses, and what I'm going to end up doing is letting that be like a what's the shot put? What's that thing called in the Olympics where you spin yourself around?
The discus throw?
Not the discus, the long.
Javelin.
Oh, is it the one where we got 2 hands on the?
Yeah.
Hammer
Let
throw.
it, I
Hammer
let it
throw,
spin
yeah.
me back around and then give it 2 more punches with my unarmed strongman punches.
Nice.
Try to get some momentum. Hit it in the knee.
It seems like most of the other leg appears to be largely stuffing.
Yes.
And so you're kind of going to town on this stuffing in the other leg, and bits and pieces are flying off and splattering into the walls.
The knee is the weak spot. It is the testicle of the leg.
I often say that. That's how I describe that when I teach people anatomy. Awesome, Strombo. You make some effective progress. He definitely is leaning over a little more on that leg now after your blows there. Yazin, how about for you?
Yazin, looking at this thing, thinks that it definitely could hit really, really hard if it hits us. So for her action, she's going to clutch her lightning symbol and say, "You cannot strike as well," and it needs to make a charisma saving throw.
Oh man. Oh. What's your DC?
14.
Oh, it does not pass that.
All right, so it has Bane cast on it, and I am
Oh,
now
no.
concentrating. So that's subtract a D4 from all of its attack rolls, and I believe saving throws as well.
I think so.
And then for my bonus action, I'm going to summon my spiritual weapon, which for this battle is a dinner fork.
That
And
seems,
I'm going
that
to
seems totally appropriate.
make an attack with the dinner fork.
Nice.
So that's +6. Okay. Wake. Oh, natural 20.
Nice.
Nice.
Thank
Do
you for that advantage.
Max damage plus your plus your roll on top of that.
All right, so that's 8, 9, 13 points of fork damage.
Nice.
As the fork this holy fork with tongs that kind of look like lightning comes down and just takes a big chunk and kind of
Holy
lofts it off.
you're getting good solid scoops with that big dinner fork.
Yes.
Don't need to worry about it. Yeah, those are whole mouthfuls coming out of there.
I'm wondering if Solo's gonna run and get a fork.
And you as you read, I would not be surprised Chris pulls out like
I
a
wouldn't
giant
be
fork.
surprised either. That much stuff he's got. It's amazing.
It's got a perfect miniatures giant fork. You're taking scoops out of the other leg, the cabbage leg, as you're getting good amounts out of that. The Monster of Ages is definitely unhappy with fighting all of you and your attacks against its legs. It sits down on on its bottom and then kicks out at each of you, trying to get you a little bit away from it. Strombo, it's going to hit you.
Oh no.
Are you rolling the d4 to subtract from its rolls?
I did not for that one, but it still hits you, Strombo.
Okay.
But it's not going to hit because of the d4. It's not going to hit Yazin. So the bane really comes in there. It just misses you, Yazin. Strombo, you're gonna. I need you to make me a strength saving throw. You're
No
gonna take
problem.
some damage, but if you can succeed your strength saving throw, you won't be pushed.
I do a 13.
Nice. Oh nope, you're gonna get pushed.
Okay.
You are pushed about 15 feet back as his foot, his stuffing foot, collapses into you and then springs outward as you're shoved backwards and slide across the ground.
And
You're
how
also
much
going to take
damage
6
do I take?
damage from that.
6 damage. Yes.
And he also is going to lean down. And he's going to try to pick up Harvey.
I'm very small.
Harvey, you get a dexterity
I'm
saving.
very small.
saving throw
I am very small.
against his strength. And he also.
It's a 24.
Oh,
Wow. Oh.
Harvey, he is with his hands just mashing the ground trying to get to you as you're like diving in and out of his grip, trying to grab at you. But he is unsuccessful trying to grab you as you're leaping just through his massive holiday sausage like in actuality fingers. That's gonna make it Harvey's turn.
I would like to, now that these sausages just like I'm gonna cut a clean slice of that, so like a salami slice just right off of that sausage.
Nice.
I literally have not eaten anything today, and
I know this is making me. I planned this whole thing, and I'm
No,
so hungry.
I'm literally gonna cut a piece of the salami fingers off so that I can eat it, because Harvey has not. We fasted in game.
Yeah.
And also, I, as a person, have a lot of character crossover here. And that's when I tell you that I got a critical fail.
Oh, no.
So, I don't think I successfully sliced the sausage fingers.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
I happen to have. I probably should have been doing this for the critical successes too. I happen to have the deck of Wonder, the deck of Sunders, and the deck of Blunder right here in front of me. And I completely forgot about it, so I'm going to pull out
I'm
this
glad
deck
you
of
chose
Blunder.
now to be the time
Right,
to use
this
it when a critical
final
fail.
moment. These are from Gemhammer, who makes these Gemhammer and Sons. These are just super fun decks of cards to
They're
randomize
awesome.
some of your extra stuff. Adam, give me a
Stop. Gosh.
All right, let's see what we got here.
No.
You're
dead. You have no fingers.
Oh no!
I sliced my own fingers
This
off.
is the worst possible outcome for you.
No.
Uh-oh.
Everyone starts laughing at you.
Oh, no.
I'm used to this. I am like the runt at the circus. This does not affect me.
It says take a 1d4 penalty to all dice rolls for the rest of the encounter.
No.
Oh no! I won't extend it to all dice rolls. But I'll say
So hungry.
all your d20 rolls are going to take the 1d4 until you redeem yourself doing something awesome.
Okay, like having one of those sausage fingers and like doing one of those like hot dog eating contests where I eat the whole.
So
sausage.
I'm going to say you stab into the finger, but it doesn't cut through.
That casing.
Yeah, it's the sausage casing really gets
Gross.
you.
The
That's-
grease drips down
Yeah,
on
the
him,
grease-
and then he kind of loses.
You get some
the
hot
grip.
grease.
Yep.
Yeah.
Never pierce the
absolutely.
sausage.
Oh, may I?
I have so many questions.
You pierce the sausage and then get rained down on in 1980s Flashdance way, and that's what causes
it's
the
all
laughter.
sausage grease.
But it's all sausage grease.
Oh man, that is.
With the full lean back on the chair.
Yeah.
That's perfect. Strombo, it looks like Harvey's having a tough time and is now covered in grease.
Oh.
Strombo, what's going on for you?
Oh, what do I want to do? I don't think I have many more attacks available to me. Has a movement. Can I jump up to his head and swing my barbell at his head, or is that a
Yeah,
thing?
I'll let you make a check for it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Acrobatics.
Yeah, I think acrobatics.
Very good.
See if you can make it up there.
Oh, that was close. That was almost the one, but it bounced and virtually bounced, and I got a 14 plus my modifier, so a 19.
Nice. I totally think that's good enough. You're hanging out on his shoulder right by his head.
Oh, yes. Now I take my barbell right to his head.
Awesome. Give me an attack roll. His head seems to be made up of a mix of the cranberry sauce and also some of the sweet potato
Oh,
with the marshmallows on it.
yeah.
So he's got two big nice toasted marshmallow eyes.
So is he a
hanging out.
day after Golem?
Yeah.
God.
There's he's a leftovers golem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do I still have advantage or no longer?
You no longer have advantage.
Okay.
That was just for that.
So I got a 10, which is going to stink.
A 10's not going to do it.
Nope.
You can still do your. I think you can still do your
Unarmed
extra
strikes?
unarmed strike. For your
Yeah,
bonus.
I'll spend another key.
You don't. I think you can do one for free without spending the key, but you can totally spend the key and then you get two.
Oh, that's right. I could do a flurry of blows to get 2. All right. Well, yeah, I'll spend it. I've got it.
Yeah.
All right. So the first one is another 11, so that's a bummer. And then there we go. 23.
23 is definitely going to hit. And give me some damage for that, and then
6
give me a
points
description for the whole
of
thing.
damage.
Nice. Now describe for me this whole turn. You leaped up there. You made a couple of swings that were unsuccessful. What does it look like?
I took my barbell, swung it at the creature, but it hit cranberry sauce, and my barbell is embedded in it. So I just started punching around the cranberry sauce, and to loosen it up to get my barbell back.
Nice. So you're just holding onto the barbell as you're laying some punches in.
Give back my weapon.
The creature throws his arms up and is flailing as you're sitting on his shoulders, and now he's moving around a whole lot. Yazin.
Yeah, we're gonna start off with that fork. The spiritual weapon fork's gonna come in to like do a good twist in and see if we can. Probably not with an 11.
Well, the rolls are turning on you guys.
Yeah,
they are. The dice giveth and the dice taketh away. Then for my action, I will go ahead and do a guiding bolt right at it.
It's a 9. It's close to a 4.
Hey, dirty 20.
Nice. Okay, that's definitely gonna hit. And guiding bolt's great because it'll give advantage to the next person.
8, 9. Oh, 15 points of 19 points of radiant damage to it.
19.
And it is glowing and the next person has advantage.
Sweet. It is glowing like a deliciously microwaved leftover dinner.
So the fork kind of came down and like just missed its shoulder, but where it was coming down, that's where I got the guiding bolt up, and it just started radiating out, and it's all kind of glowing like a concerning microwave meal.
As your blows land, Yazin 4. You notice that all of these splatters of different food that are hitting the wall, they're all sort of slowly inching their way across the ground and then kind of latching back onto the monster. All this damage that you're doing to the monster seems like it's weakening the monster, but it's not quite cutting it.
Lutefisk, you need to fix that wand.
And you can see Lutefisk in the back, who is like trying to sort of mashed potato back together his wand unsuccessfully, and he comes running up, and he's still dragging his jars of fish behind him. But he comes running up kind of behind the monster, and he shouts at you, and he says, You won't defeat it. There's too much to eat. Instead, you'll have to get a wish to defeat. Find the wishbone and make a wish. That'll stop it for sure. Stop this dish.
I was thinking we needed a wish spell. I'm like,
But I did too. I thought, I'm level 4, baby.
yeah.
I love you, Luda. But that's way above our pay grade.
It's a high demand.
We're D-list celebrities here.
Yeah.
You don't got Jim Dark Magic here. You got Strombo and Yazin.
Yeah.
All right. Well, the wishbone probably is right in the damn center of the thing.
Unfortunately, as he comes running forward, the monster notices all of his jars of fish, and then the monster reaches up a big hand and smashes all the jars of lutefisk that Luda had. And Luda turns, and you see just a stricken look of teary-eyed sadness as all of his fish come leaping out of their jars into the monster's hands. And then the monster turns and thrusts his hand out towards all of you, and you are all being pelted by pickled fish.
Oh no, there won't be any lutefisk to eat. Oh no.
Oh no. Oh, the horror.
The horror.
Oh man, your Bane is working overtime here.
Yeah.
It's doing really, really well. All right, he only hits one of you. He only hits Harvey because Bane kind of prevents the fishes from hitting all the other stuff.
I'm really earning my status as a D-list celebrity today.
Harvey, you're getting pelted by a whole lot of fish. You take 8 damage. 8 pickled fish damage.
Okay.
Just for the halibut.
Just for the hell of it. Yeah. But he isn't finished.
But wait, there's more.
He stands back up. You remember he had sat down, so he stands back up, getting his full stature all laid out, and then he's going to finger gun and shoot some hot mashed potatoes at each of you. He switched to ranged attacks. Oh man, he's only going to hit you, Yazin.
Oh.
For 7 damage with hot mashed potatoes. And that's going to make it Harvey's turn.
Can I see a wishbone in this monstrosity?
You can't. But, Harvey, you've eaten enough turkey dinners that you know exactly where the wishbone is. The whole center section of this beast is definitely the big bird wyvern. And there will definitely be a wishbone hidden in there. You just need to carve up the wyvern chest a little bit.
Okay.
You know, once a year the mayor pardons a wyvern. This one
And don't
obviously
forget
didn't get pardoned.
Because Harvey, you have advantage on this attack because it's still glowing from my attack.
It's true.
Would I be able to know that the wish? Because would Harvey know that?
Where the wishbone is?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're good, Harvey. You know
So
that part.
I wasn't sure if I needed to wait for Strombo to tell me. So I'm going to run over to it and try to go like with my two daggers as if I'm like sharpening a carving knife. Clang, 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 and then I want to jump up. Same way I jumped into the gelatinous cranberry sauce. I want to jump up and try to like slice at the neck area of the wyvern.
Nice. Give me an attack roll
Carving knife.
with advantage. With your carving
Ooh,
knives.
the first one was another crit fail.
Oh my!
Glad for that advantage.
The second one was an 18.
All right, an 18 definitely hits. Well, you got all the crit fails today.
Gotta
Yeah.
say, your dice might need a stay in my special dice room.
There you go.
That's awesome.
With the little couches and everything.
Yeah, the little couch, some inspirational posters.
These are my
Some cat
dice
posters.
that have been dormant in the office. I think they're mad at me because I haven't played with them in 8 months. So I got 7. Do I get sneak attack on this?
Yeah, for the
Not
damage.
maybe.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Did you have advantage? So
Oh, right. So I got 7 plus 5, which is 12 damage.
12 damage.
Can I attack with my offhand as well?
Yeah.
Is my bonus
Yeah,
action?
make a bonus action offhand attack.
Okay, that one is a got a 24.
That hits. Give me a little bit of extra offhand damage there.
3 damage on that.
All right. This was solid. You clear out a whole lot of wyvern meat, exposing up the wishbone from the turkey-ish part of this thing. Give me a description for your carving. I know you're doing this.
So I'm using my two blades, so I have to sort of plant my feet because I'm assuming it's higher than me, so I have to kind of like run up the side of this thing and then kind of like grab with my two of my hands that are sort of holding the daggers at the same time, and then stick my feet in
into the
so that I'm like waist deep. I'm small, so it's like sticking out at the side of this thing and then carving at the wyvern chest.
There's bits of light and dark meat flying all over the place.
And there's the carver's tax, so you kind of have to take.
You're taking a little as you're doing it. You're eating a little. Perfect. Strombo. And Strombo, I think you're still up on top of his head, so you've got a good position here.
What's the best way I can help Harvey, or just keep him busy, keep doing damage?
Well, it looks like the wishbone is a little bit. Harvey was able to expose it a little bit, so you can see the edges of the wishbone.
All right, I grab for it. I'm going to try to grapple it.
Sweet. Give me. Do you have any special grapple stuff?
I have a thing. I have a thing called grappling pin.
Okay.
So I can try to pin the wishbone. I don't know. But basically, if you use your action to try to pin a creature grappled by... Okay, no, that's not done. I haven't grappled it. So I'm just going to try to grapple it, which is a strength check, right?
Yeah, give me a strength check against the
Come
giant...
on, D&D Beyond. Roll that dice. Oh, yes, thank you. That's a dirty 20.
Yeah.
Nice.
That's a dirty 20.
You're able to rip this wishbone out of the monster. Give me a description for the whole thing. I assume come crashing down into the ground holding.
So I basically reach down, grab the wishbone, and then jump off while hanging onto it and rip it right out of his chest.
Perfect. As you grab the wishbone and rip it down, you come crashing to the ground. The wishbone is huge. You've got this gigantic wishbone. And you know something of wishbones, Strombo. You might be able to break it on your own, but if you really want to make a wish, you're going to need another person.
Yes. I turn to Yazin.
Yazin, it makes it your turn.
I will grab the other end of the wishbone and give a mighty pull.
All right. Both of you make me strength checks.
Go.
Oh, not bad. 18.
15 for this boy.
All right. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to have... what's the best way to determine this? I'm going to have you do 2 roll-off as just a D20 roll to see who gets the big portion of the whiff. And before you roll off, I want you to each say what you're... Well,
sorry. I did not mean to do that.
Before you roll off, I want you to each come up with what your character's wish would be.
Okay. I thought about that already, actually.
Okay.
Yeah.
Go ahead and roll. We'll just make this a straight roll off, no bonuses.
Should I roll again, or does my 7 count?
Nah, you can roll again.
All right.
10.
10.
I got a 12.
Oh,
excellent!
As you pull this huge wishbone, the monster is looming over you and starts to reach down and comes over top of you, and the shadow of the monster seems to loom over as the two of you yank hard at the wishbone itself, and it snaps. And as it snaps, the monster pauses and then collapses. All the pieces of food all separating out from each other and collapsing down right there into the middle of the floor of the center of town. No longer animated. And Yazin, what was your wish?
Thinking about all the food and the fact that Yazin actually hasn't eaten anything yet because she's never attacked anything by eating it, she is starting to get hangry. And she just was, I just wish we could have the feast with the cheese bath.
As your bone breaks and the largest portion of the wishbone goes to Yazin, Yazin, the wishbone seems to glow and sparkle. And the magic of the wishbone of the animated monster of the ages seems to emanate from away from the wishbone itself. And you can watch as all the food that was previously on the ground seems to plop up and float in midair. And the benches and all of the chairs and all of the portions of the town that were previously broken apart in a true Feast of the Ages miracle seem to become repaired. And each portion of the food seems to reorient itself back onto its own dishes. And you watch as in pure joy the cheese comes up that was all splattered across the ground and covered in dust, seems to be perfectly cleansed, landing beautifully back in its own little jacuzzi area as the tables reorient and everything comes together and all the jars reform for all of Lutefisk's amazing lutefisk. And the mayor seems to come out of comes out of the town, and he is applauding tremendously as all of the people in the town start to cheer, and they all come together in hands and sing Yahoo Lori, da, da, da. And they're all swaying back and forth, and the mayor says, "What are all of you doing? I'm starving. Quick, get to your seats so we can continue with the dishes." And all the people scramble back to their seats. Lutefisk now taking up a seat right next to the mayor, and the mayor says, "From here on out, the Feast of the Ages will always remember all of the tremendous value brought to us by our adventurers, and perhaps even next year, this will encourage some A-list adventurers to come and join us too.
Hey now.
These adventurers shall forever be welcome as guests of honor at our Feast of Ages. They're A-list in my heart."
Strombo's happy.
Yazin drifts into her bathing suit and just jumps into the cheese jacuzzi.
It is everything you imagined it could be. It is warm and delicious, and you feel like a piece of fondue.
Yes.
Fondue.
Fondue. And all of you have an amazing evening, enjoying the last of the bits of and the delicious food centered around the Feast of Ages, and all of you have this wonderful time. And Lutefisk finally comes and thanks all of you and shakes each of your hands and says, "You've saved me from a life of loneliness, and now I can only expect to give you this." And he hands each of you a nice solid pile of gold. He has a bag of golden Swedish fish that he hands each of you that aren't very good tasting but are worth a whole lot of money. And that is where we will end our game for the evening.
Well done. Thank you for all the rhymes. I really love
that was great.
Lutefisk's rhymes.
I told Adam before this game started that I was going to do something I never recommend to any game master ever, and that is having a character that speaks only in rhyme.
Yeah, that was good, man.
Which I've always wanted to do.
You did a great job. Awesome. They were really clever and fun.
Thanks, game. I thought we might take a moment. We've got a few minutes left, and I wanted to end a little bit early. And something that Adam and I do in a lot of our campaigns that I thought would be like a really fun thing for us to do on stream is spotlights. We usually do a spotlight for somebody else in the game, something someone else did that enhanced the game for you or that you really enjoyed. And so I thought we would go around and everybody could do a spotlight before we bring things to a close for our game this evening. So Adam, like I said, I can put you on the spot and ask pretty much anything of you. What is a spotlight that you have for somebody else for our game this evening?
I'm going to say spotlight Scott for initiating the eating of the food and using the sort of monk abilities in context of a giant mashed potato monster. Really inspired me to both be extra hungry and also to jump inside that cranberry monster. Like, made it very clear that this was as if it wasn't already kind of a silly romp. It just kind of icing on
Thank
the
you.
cake right there.
I enjoyed grappling it with my mouth. With my face.
I think that was the quote of the night. As I grapple it with my
With my
mouth.
face, yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Sweet. Megan, what's a spotlight you have for somebody else today?
Adam, the grovel move. That was so wonderful, so perfect for a kobold, and it was amazing. And I just like your character's awesome. And like you played him as the perfect little kobold. I loved it so much.
Yeah.
Let's get cyber secure.
Right, that's cyber secure.
Here.
Don't open up emails from people you don't know.
Welcome to Kent, Washington. Fishing capital of the world, but not that kind of fishing. PHI.
Also,
Scott,
the bad fish.
Yeah.
Scott, how about for you? What's a spotlight you have for somebody else today?
I have 2 spotlights. I have a spotlight for Dr. Megan because there's a lot of things that I consider myself good at in D&D. Puzzles is not one of them. I lock up when it comes to puzzles. I'm good with coming up with a quip or a funny thing to say, but I'm terrible with puzzles. And I am so thrilled she took the lead on solving puzzles and getting us across the lake, because we would have just sat there going, "Duh," if it were up to me. I also love the idea of having grown up reading Sergio Aragona's Gru the Wanderer comics and his love for cheese dip. He used to dream about swimming in cheese dip. So the whole swimming in the cheese dip thing was, I loved it. And my second spotlight is on the DM and helpers, because I just really loved the whole theme of the adventure and the rhymes that you did, and I thought that the camera down on those miniatures was really classy and fun. I don't tend to like using online things to play like this. I tend to want to play more theater of the mind, because I don't really like those 2D drawn look down maps. But the idea of a camera looking down on miniatures really made it feel like we were all playing together and we weren't separated by COVID. It was really well done. So spotlight on you too as well.
Thank you,
Adam and Chris.
Yeah, thanks so much.
Thank you.
Well, I'm gonna give a big thank you to Chris Solo for all the extra work. Thank you so much, Chris.
Awesome.
Big thank you to all of you, my players at the game. You are what helped make it a fun experience. And I also want to give a big shout out to Wounded Warrior Project, who graciously had us on the stream, so Fable 42 for having us on the stream, the Wounded Warrior Project, which we are all in support of, and hoping to really raise awareness and raise money for. So I'll give one last big thumbs up. If you haven't visited the Wounded Warrior Project website, totally feel free to do so now. Chris will drop it into chat, and you can take a look at that and see how their money raising is going. And I want to give a big thank you to everybody who stuck around and who listened to our game. Thank you so much.
Thank you,
and with that, I think we will sign off and say happy Feast of the Ages to you all.
Happy Feast of the Ages to you.
You.
And also with you.
And also with you. And also with you.
Yes. Thank you, guys. Everyone have a wonderful night.
Bye.